Hello, FPL managers, and welcome to Fantasy Football Hub's Game Week 15 Best FPL Transfers video with me, James, and I'm joined by the FPL expert, FPL Salah, Abdul. It's been a couple of game weeks. Well, we're actually filming during the middle of Game Week 14. It's the Thursday afternoon that we're filming this, viewers. How is Game Week 14 going for you at the moment, and how was Game Week 13?
Gaming 13 was great for me. I had a huge rank rise. Went from I think it was about 40k to 16k. So
Wow.
I think the main differential for me was Jamie Vardy, who got his brace. This week is going. I think it's okay. I've got 58 points with Tony and Mbeumo to go, but
Okay.
it kind of all depends. I mean, there's so many high owned players like Ramsdale, Son, and Kane who I need to avoid. So, yeah, it's up in the air at the moment. What about yourself?
Okay. Yeah, not bad. I took a -8 in game week 13. So I did
Oh,
end on a red arrow, but my score was okay. But the -8 points meant it was a small red. And
mm,
yeah, this week, similar to you, I'm on, I think, 58 at the moment, but I've
mm,
got Son and Tony to play. No Ramsdale, no Embuemo, so I'll be hoping those guys stay quiet. We'll see. We'll see.
yeah,
I said in my
same.
preview of Bakar that there'll be a lot of people watching this after Game Week 14 has finished, and thus they will know what kind of mood we're going to be in on Friday. So
Yeah,
we'll have to see. We'll have to see
for
how it
sure.
goes. Right, let's get to your transfers, guys. This time we have one defender, one midfielder, and two forwards. All of which selected by Abdul. And Abdul, will start with your defender, and he's a familiar face on this video. It's Regulon,
Mhm.
and a great fixture in Game Week 15 for him.
Yeah, so I mean, I think outside like the City and the Chelsea boys, it's quite like slim pickings. Really, I mean, just we've all got like at least two Chelsea or two City, like taking up our back lines. So I think Regulon, is a great alternative to them. To have as maybe your fourth as your fourth defender. And yeah, again, he's got the best fixture of the season this week in Norwich at home. And again, I don't think. I mean, we've not seen Spurs really click into gear yet, but I do think it's a matter of time before they do under Conte. And we know how Conte plays. Likes to play his wing backs, and I think he will be the kind of main beneficiary, him or Emerson. So yeah, I really like his fixture this week, and they've got a decent run all the way up until like game week 22 as well.
The new managers, both at Norwich and at Aston Villa, have made life a
Mm,
little bit harder for FPL managers, haven't they, Abdul? Because Norwich was the team that a lot of FPL managers would target. I can see why you've gone for Regulon on that basis. But
yeah.
at what stage are we going to start looking at Norwich through a slightly different lens? Dean Smith seems to have changed something there, and they are stringing together results. Do you feel like there's anything in that, or do you still feel like this is a fixture where you've got to be targeting Spurs players?
Yeah, no, you're totally spot on because the last four games they've gone and beaten, they've drew two and won two. So, and they do look a better side, but yeah, I just think at the moment, I would still treat them as a target fixture, especially like when a team of Spurs quality is playing them at home. I wouldn't say that it was a good fixture for Norwich, or and I wouldn't be confident in Norwich, getting anything from that game. But
Mm.
yeah, maybe if a few more games down the line, and they're still playing good and they're still getting results, and maybe we need to kind of change, shift our focus more on them being a decent side and looking at other teams to target. But I think at the moment, this fixture, I still think it's a great fixture for Spurs.
It would be a crying shame for all but Norwich fans if they were to improve, because they were the gift that kept on giving as far as FPL
Well,
managers
yeah.
go. Let's see what happens. I certainly, and I'm assuming most managers won't be getting rid of their Spurs attacking assets prior to that Norwich game, that's for sure.
No, for sure.
All right, let's move on to your midfielder of choice. I think he's played every single minute since game week 5, I read today. Why have you gone for Bernardo Silva, Abdul?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons there. He started and played 90 minutes in the last 9 game weeks. He's clearly a vital player to Pep, and Pep rates him highly. But I mean, he's as an FPL asset, he's been performing. I mean, he's got 5 goals and 2 assists. He's actually got the highest XG among all the City players even higher than than Foden and Jesus, who's playing as a winger right now. He's playing a lot of games as an attacking midfielder. He's playing in a few positions. He's playing centre midfield and attacking midfield, which obviously is it kind of bodes well for his like chances of starting. Which we've seen over the past few game weeks. And he seems to be the kind of player in form at the moment. I mean, another player which kind of caught my eye and has been quite popular was Gundogan as well. But with him being rested, I think there could be a slight injury doubt with him for the weekend. So yeah, Silva's been a great option.
Yeah, it does sound a little bit ominous for Gundogan, which is incredibly unfortunate for those that bought him in for the likes of Foden, for example. Plenty got rid of Foden ahead of game week 14. Bernardo Silva, let's talk a little bit more about him, Abdul. Do you feel as though he has explosive potential? We've seen him kind of drip returns for his owners since the start of the season, really, but he's yet to kind of hit those explosive heights, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever been an explosive player, and it doesn't look like he's not putting up elite kind of premium level stats. He's putting up good stats for his price, and he's playing 90 minutes for a really good City team. So yeah, I mean, he does look like he's going to kind of tick along really nicely. And I'd be more than happy with that. I mean, you don't need explosive players, especially when you've got a perma captain in Salah, this season. Who nobody's going to be moving off anytime soon. So yeah, again, I don't think it matters much that he's not a hugely explosive option. I'd be happy with single digit returns, week in week out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Watford, Wolves, Leeds, Newcastle and Leicester are his next 5. Yeah. Fixtures so blue, they're starting to kind of blend in with his shirt there. Let's move on to the first of your 2 forwards that you've selected, and it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Another great run of blue fixtures on the horizon for him, Abdul. Is that the main reasoning behind your selection here?
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly the fixtures because obviously we know United haven't been the best this season. But I mean, as you're saying, this is before United play tonight. This video, and I do think with the new manager Ragnick coming in, it's going to have a positive effect. And if you look at Ronaldo's XG and XA, he's got an XG of 4.45 and XA of 2.04, which is still really good. I mean, he getting a lot of shots off in the box, and yeah, I mean. I think with Ronaldo, he is Ronaldo. He will put up, a good level of stats, and he's going to play the furthest forward. And when you see that fixture on all the way up until game week 22, it's going to be hard to kind of ignore him during that run.
Yeah, he's cut a frustrated figure on the pitch in recent games, both for club and country. But like you've said, those fixtures are exactly the sort of fixtures you want if you're a player who's a little bit goal starved, which Ronaldo certainly is for his high standards. Okay, and finally, let's talk about Ollie Watkins, who scored 2 in his last 3 under Steven Gerrard. Doing very, very well. He's got Leicester next. Firstly, let's talk about that fixture. Abdul, how do we rate Leicester at the moment? They seem a bit hot and cold when it comes to their defensive performances.
I mean, if you look at Leicester's stats, like the defensive stats, they're actually like in the bottom 3. They've conceded the second most shots in the box. I think the most shots on target, and their XGC is 17th. So they've actually been terrible defensively. I mean, if it wasn't for their kind of them scoring a fair amount of goals, that's kind of relegation form when you're looking at their defensive stats. So I really do think this is a great fixture for Villa attacking wise, which is why I've gone for Watkins in this in this video. But at the same time, they've got good fixtures coming up, Villa as well. They've got a few tough ones in there with Liverpool and Chelsea, but sandwiched in between. But they've got a great run coming up. Watkins, again, he's a 90-minute man. He is nailed. I think it was since game week 4 when he came back from his injury. He's played 90 minutes, every single week. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 8 games. He's slowly coming back into the form last season. Last season, he got 14 goals, 9 assists. So he's one of those players. He's got high goal and assist threat. He's not always explosive, but he chips away, and he's a sure starter. I think in this period, like the kind of December, January, it's exactly the type of player that you want.
And I think also with the benching predicaments that so many managers have at the moment, actually, those difficult fixtures aren't so bad because it's almost welcome sometimes to have an obvious benching
Yeah,
decision. And he probably would be, away against Liverpool and at home to Chelsea. Plus, at this time of the year, you never know who's going to come off your bench. Such is the level of rotation. So, yeah, I really,
yeah.
really like this option. There is one factor I wanted to raise with you, Abdul, which is, under Gerrard, whilst he has scored 2 goals, half of his goal scoring output this season, his XG has only been, I think it was 0.33 in the last 3 games. So he's massively overperforming. Do you feel as though, whilst Gerrard seems to have transformed Villa from a defensive perspective, he's still got a bit of a way to go to get them to this kind of flowing attacking side that we saw glimpses of last season?
Yeah, I think with Gerrard, he has come in and he has had a positive impact. But again, his job was to kind of turn that team around and start getting results, and that's what he's done. And I think going forward, with their good fixtures, they will score goals. I mean, I don't know. I mean, from Gerrard's time at Rangers, he was a very defensive coach. He was really good, really good defensively. Which pretty much won Rangers the league. I think he'll do the same with Villa. But attacking wise, is yet to be seen. But I do think that with Watkins being the furthest forward and the most likely kind of chance of goals when they do score, I think he's gonna. There's a very high chance that he's going to be involved. I wouldn't be worried about his his XG stats over the last few game weeks. I think with the fixtures coming up, that will improve.
All right, Abdul, thank you so much for joining me. That was incredibly insightful. Out of interest,
Yeah.
of those four, you don't have to tell us who. We'll wait for your team reveal. Are there any that you'll be bringing in ahead of game week 15, or are you going to hold fire for the meantime?
No, I don't think so. At the moment, I mean, right now I'm in a situation of whether I've not got any Spurs players, so I'm just wondering whether I jump on a Spurs player or if that boat is sailed. So that's my kind of conundrum this week. So yeah, I don't think I'll be bringing in any of these players, for my team personally.
Okay, brilliant. And captaincy, we assume we assume it'll be. I mean, no Spurs players against Norwich. It is tempting, but oh god, it's hard to look past Salah, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, like he's just out of this world right now. But I do think that if you are going to kind of differentiate, then this is the week to do it. With Spurs playing Norwich and then the Kane and Son. I guess we'll see how they play tonight, what kind of form they're in. But yeah, if there is a week to do it, then this is a week. But I still wouldn't do it, even if I had Kane or Son.
Likewise. All right.
Yeah.
Abdul, thank you so much. Guys, go over and follow
Thank you,
at
James.
FPL_Salah on Twitter. If you like this kind of stats based insight, his Twitter is full of it. You'll also find bookies odds. Yeah, it is a treasure trove. Guys, we'll be back ahead of game week 16. That'll be next week, probably Tuesday is when we usually record. We do return to kind of normal scheduling, at least for the next week. So we'll be back next week. Until then, good luck for game week 15. Abdul, you've actually leapfrogged me since we last spoke. So
I noticed
much,
that.
much like Bakar, I don't want to wish you too much luck anymore. But I hope you have a good game week, just not quite as good as me. And I'll speak to you again next week, mate.
All right, mate. Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.